Aquarius, Russia, from Russia with love. James Bond, James, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, Jack, Jackie's son, Jackson. You're all back, all the same thing, Jack. You're back. Your pussy and your crack. So you could have something to do around a Leo or an Aquarius or a Life Path 8, or you've got this in your chart. Don't forget though, Aquarian, you can also watch this as a Leo or an Aquarian because we read in numerology. On the top of the card of an Aquarian is an 8, and that's exactly the same as what's on a Leo. So I'm hearing like something to do with my back hurts, and then something to do with around like my pussy and my crack. So there could be phallic situations going on here around a sexual encounter or of the third kind, which means a Piscean in my book. So you could be dealing with the Pisces for a lot of you. I've got it in your chart. Your name is Charlotte. And then I'm also hearing me back, something to do around backache or leg ache or backache or pulling your back, maybe when you're on the job. Now, also in Robin, Robert, Robinson, Robertson, also, or your son or your daughter. So that means you've got a paradox energy, which means your mother, your father, or your grandmother is an Aquarian or a Leo placement or an 8. So that's your paradox energy, because you get it confused with your mum and you. So alchemy, Natalie. So yeah, we're definitely looking at me back, me pussy and me crack. So I don't know if you're going for a sack, back and crack wax, or waxing something, or Daniel's son, Danielle, Danny. And I might pull me back when I'm on the job. I mean, I don't know, but that's kind of like what seems to be coming up for you channeled. But I was going to say, for you Aquarian, I am so busy at the moment, I'm not going to channel because I've got so much to get through. So that would normally, I would normally take that and run with it somewhere. So you could be dealing with Life Path 7 or a Cancerian. I'm going to take it and run with it. So some of you might be stealing someone's content and just running with it and think, well, I'm going to take that and just run with it. If you're dealing with Robbie or Robin or Robert or Robertson, run. Some of you might be doing children. You might work for kids and you work on a bus or a taxi service taking children to and from, which we would call in Britain a run. So I'm going on a run, I'm blah blah blah, I've got to pick up, so on and so forth, and then I'll be back, and then, you know, doing that sort of thing. We call it a run, but basically a taxi route. So someone could be giving someone a shout out or a shout. Lulu, Louise, Lucy, Laura, Louisiana, Polly, Anne, from Louisiana. Lulu, shout. Something to do with shout out. Something to do with shouting out. So I don't know if someone on their channel gets a shout out or something like that. But I'm hearing shout, woo, shout, Lulu. Something to do with Lulu. Unless it's me giving Lulu a shout out, which is what's House of Vashon, right? House of Vashon. But I'm hearing Lulu. So Harry, Harriet, Hannah. So the name Hannah is coming through. Hanoi, handover. Some of you might be changing and doing a handover around work. So like you work in an elderly residential place or something like that, and when you come into work, someone hands over what went on last night. So you do like a 12-hour shift, you work for the elderly people, and you come in and say, okay, let's sit down, have a cup of coffee and do a handover. Yeah, Derek was running around upstairs last night, smashing his head against the window and God knows what else, and we had a right trouble. This went on, that went on. You do a handover, right? So wherever it is, it's like handing things over, okay? A handover, Hanover, from Hoverfield or somewhere like that, Sheffield, Manchester, Leeds, Lee. I'm also hearing the name Lee, Leanne, Lisa, Lisa Riley, Raya, funeral pyre, something to do with Jim Morrison or a Scorpio. Life Path 4 could be here. What is any of this going to relate to anything? The sense that makes none, the nun, Libra. Sense. The sense that makes none. Some of you can't even make sense of Edna Tal of what's going on. Some of you could be gaslit to the nines. Could be dealing with a Virgo. If I say 9, you say Virgo, Life Path 9 maybe. Anyway, let's find out. So, what's been going on with Aquarian for the last 48 hours? With Aquarius for the last 48 hours? Well, shrivelly. Lee, I'm hearing Lee or Laura or Lucifer or Linda and Belinda. Anybody getting with L. Okay, Lulu, Louise, Lucy, Laura, Linda, Belinda and Linda. But it could be dealing with a Capricorn or a Gemini. Got it in your chart. Maybe don't forget, I read in numerology. Okay, don't read in star placements, but don't worry about it. It could be dealing with an Aquarian, another one. But you've got this in your chart. It could be dealing with a lot of family, someone helping, giving someone a help. Help, I need somebody's help, not just anybody, help. So yeah, like giving someone a hand, okay? So there's the handover. I'm just going to give you a hand, okay? So it might be where you're very helpful at work, and wherever it is that you work, you've been giving someone a hand. A little bit like Mega Pints, and all my moderators have been giving me a hand when I've been doing the donate and doing readings for people just for donations. But moderators, giving people a hand is what I'm hearing. I've just been running around, running errands, giving people a hand. So wherever it is that you're at work, I feel, for a lot of you Aquarian, you've been doing a lot of handovers and a lot of shift work around your work moving. I think we come up with this in the weeklies or monthlies, or one of them not so long ago, where I said that your work sector seems to be changing. So you could be doing a 4 or Scorpio. And if you noticed, my work sector was also changing as well at the same time when I left Patron and went and opened my new my own website, which is linked below, by the way. But like work sector, where you could have seen a lot of things happening around your work, like changing shifts, being asked to go to another department, not working here but working there now, leaving a job and going towards another one, or where you work just being asked to work in another department, okay? Is definitely what I keep hearing for a lot of you, or moving stuff around your house, or moving stuff around your house is what I'm hearing. Like you may have done a lot of cluttering, clearing up, tidying up, getting rid of winter clothes or summer clothes and all that sort of stuff, and tidying, and I don't know why I'm picking up on that, but like manoeuvring a lot of things around where you actually live, okay? There might have been someone that's just moved in upstairs or downstairs, because I'm picking up 3 doors down. It might be involving a Pisces. So it could be someone here that may have just moved in to a block of flats or something like that, because I'm hearing we just moved. I've just literally moved or moved in, okay? Aquarius, last 48. So if I didn't say, we do a last 48, next 48, and then we turn it on its head. Ed, Edwina, Eddie, Berry, Holly, Jody, Berry St Edmunds, Eddie, Edwina. We look at a you versus them. We kind of turn it around. Let's have a look. Aquarian, last 48. So you got the world. There's the 3. There's the Pisces. A lot of you have just moved, or someone's just moved in. There's been a lot of travelling, a lot of going out on a date or so for a lot of you. If you didn't notice, me and Emily both have Aquarius in our chart. So if you've been following my vlog, I got attacked by a British cow. Now, if you don't know what that is, you'll know what a cow is. It's called Pat. You're right, cow. Oh, dear. You're right, Pat. Anyway, if you are interested in watching Steve and Emily get attacked by a British cow along Ely River, there's a lot of new stuff coming up on the vlog, by the way, if you haven't following it. We do a behind the life of tarot and show what it's like in a soulmate twin flame union relationship, of what it's like being with someone that is 25 years younger than you. No, I think it's about 18 years, I think. I don't know. Emily's 30, I'm 47, but, you know, soulmates and all that sort of stuff, right? But, yeah, you might want to look below. Anyway, so, yeah, going out on dates, travelling, going a lot, clearing up a lot of stuff. I was hearing the name Clarkson, Clark, the name Clark, or Kent, or Superman. Some of you think you're a saviour of the universe, maybe. Clarkson, Jeremy Clarkson, Jeremy, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, Jack. Some of you might have had something to do around cars, or you've been watching a lot of things around car, renovating, building cars, having your car looked at. Y'all really could be dealing with a Cancerian or a Life Path 7 like myself. But Life Path 7, that is. But like, you know, doing things around the car, okay, or watching things around a car. This would be watching a Life Path 7 or a Cancerian, but it would also be watching things on the internet about a car. Specifically, you may have been talking about travelling and going away for a little while this month or this week. Last 48 for Aquarian. Last 48, yeah, King of Cups. Some of you are deeply in love with this person. When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you can't go wrong. Yeah, you can't go wrong, Ronald's. Some of you might be going out from McDonald's and you've been eating burgers. Put the burgers down! But you might have gone out for a date and had a burger. So if y'all watch my vlog, you'll see Emily eating a burger after being attacked by a cow. Now, if you're one of these vegans or vegetarians or whatever, probably best not watch it. We didn't eat the cow that attacked me, but we did go out to Arbuckle's, which is a big burger joint. But yeah, y'all could have been eating a burger or something like that, or eating muff or something. But yeah, muff diving. Some of you might be called Diane or Dana or Diane, or a British diner or something like that, gone out. Like, I've been sitting in the corner. Susie's restaurant. Some of you might own your own restaurant, or you've been going to one. You went out on a date. Let's see, Aquarian. What have been doing? Yeah, when the sun shines right out your arsehole, right here. Some of you, like, it hasn't even been. What's that? Hasn't come. Don't know. Something's been arriving, but it hasn't come yet, or that you're waiting for in the future, and it hasn't come yet. Unless the person there's been no sex or something. But sorry, I'm just hearing a reference from one of my favourite bands, which is Queens of the Stone Age. One of the songs is called "Hasn't Come Yet." Something like that. Hasn't come. Something hasn't come for a while. Maybe, I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while since you... anyway, yeah, it's been a while for something. Or Wild, or Kim. Named Kim Wilde. We're the kids in America. Oh, we're the kids. Where we all think that we have freedom of speech. La, 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 la. So the name Lala, whoever comes up in the chat now and again, the very manic person. LA. Some of you could be from LA. Yeah, LA Lakers or Lake District, Peak District. So up north, Manchester, Leeds, Sheffield. Some of you might be doing exactly what me and Emily are doing, which is going to visit up north for 3 days for the pusher's birthday. Yeah, it's Leo. But yeah, we're going up north again for 3 days, but we're going to be doing a lot of drone shots and a lot of camera work, really. So we're going to show you some really decent footage, because we've got a drone, and we're going to show you what it is really like when you go to Derbyshire. You think that's good footage at the moment and the old stuff? We're going to take you right down in the cabins with a drone and show you what it's like in Derbyshire, out in the Dales, which is one of the nicest parts of the country. Is that part of Derbyshire before you get to Scotland. Scotland would be the nicest, but you get like Derbyshire, Manchester-ish, that kind of way. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to show you a lot of footage. So some of you might be doing camera work, interested in that, Cameron. So you might have a little child called Cameron, or Chamomile, Melanie, Mel, chamomile tea. Some of you have been drinking tea. Chamomile tea. Some of you have been struggling, maybe financially, could have had an argument about someone being alone on their own all the time, and that it's been a bit of a distance, like it's been a while and you've been distant just lately, and what's been going on, and so on and so forth, and you haven't really been coming over so much, right? This is normally when you go over to someone's house. 8 always means, to me, is well, it's a very nice place to visit, but I don't think I would want to stay there long, right? So it's a little bit like a short stay, and I just go over and pop over and like, how's your father, how's your mother, and all that stuff, and then come home, right? So it might be a bit of in and out, and then off you go, right? So it's a little bit of like, well, it's been a while since you've been over, okay? So you might have visited, but I think someone's been worrying about there being distance, that you don't stay very long when you go. So if you're in a long distance relationship and you have to travel to the person, it feels like you've been travelling and going over there, but they don't like it when you leave. Okay, and then they say, well, when are you coming back? Because the king's here. Then, well, I do what I want. So, okay, let's have a look. So, yeah, excuse me. that is the last 48 hours. So some of you have just been generally talking about finances, money, about travelling, visiting one another, so on and so forth, and trying to get the other person's time and attention. This king is pretty much like, look, sweetheart, I've got so much to do, I didn't even see the cup in the air. You're like, well, you're a bit of an airhead, aren't you? When I talk to you, you don't listen anyway. It's like, well, I'm here. All you got to do is say and ask. It's like, well, I don't need to, I don't want to disturb you. It's like, well, stop being so intimidated by a king, for God's sake. Just speak up, will you? Right? So someone's probably been worried about actually saying something that ain't been going right. Right? Well, I want to see you more. Well, I can't, Daffers. I got to work. Well, go on. I want to see you a little bit more than that. Right? So some of you could have got into a Barney here. Let's have a look. So the next 48 hours for Aquarius. What's Aquarius got going on? Next 48. Well, there you go. There's the Dick Turpin. So someone's predicting quite a lot. So it starts to happen really quickly. So it's probably over before it began. It might be like 5 seconds, or you might want to buy one of my T-shirts, old ones. It's called a 2-pump jump. So it might just last a couple of minutes or something like that. You're like, well, that's that over and done with, right? Until next time. Unless you're just dealing with like a one-night stand and it's in and out and then gone. Right? But yeah, it's coming in really quickly, whatever it is. That thing that you've been waiting for suddenly arrives. Here, bing! There it is. Is it a message? I think you're talking to a partner anyway. I think you're definitely with one. Let's see, you could have children together for a lot of you with an ex, and you're just like distant. Some of you are elderly people and all your kids are grown up and they're moved out here. And they're coming over to visit. Let's see. Or siblings are. Aquarius, let's see. Aquarius, what they got going on this week. 48. Next 48. Whoa, there's the erection. Somebody's kind of like, well, you might be a little bit too fast for me, but someone's like, Eureka! At last it came out. Yeah, no, I've been wanting to come for ages. Ah, well, I'm glad you came too. So there you go. Now that coming is, God knows where it's coming or what it is that we're talking about that's coming, but something is coming very quickly. Now, like I said, man, it could be like, oh, I've been really looking forward to you turning up, and you're like, oh, well, I know, well, I'm here now. So they turn up, whichever way it is, or they come all over the place, and someone's begging for it here. Let's see, gagging for it is normally what we say. Let's see, so the next 48 for Aquarius. Yeah, there you go, could be a Gemini, Capricorn. I love you, Johnny. It's like, well, do you know what love is? Of course I do, my name's Frost. Or someone's definitely given up the cock, right, here. And, yeah, they're providing you with cock, really. So someone just provides them with whatever they want. If you want that, sure. If you want this, Gary or Tina, then sure, to be sure. And it could be from Ireland. But, like, yeah, no, that's fine. If you want that, do you want this? Yeah, okay, then go on then, I'll give you that too. Someone gets their own way all the time here. Just saying. Aquarius, next 48. And then the magician turns up and says, listen, bruv, I can just fucking get things just like that. And you're like, really? Yep. If you want it, it's yours. And you're like, Jesus. Go on then. Jesus. Hell no. I'm hearing, hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now. We pour a wall between us. You know they won't win. Anyway, yeah, so some of you here, you're in a relationship, everything's going fine. You basically manifested dick. You manifested what you wanted. If you wanted it, you got it. If you want it, you just click your fingers and there it is. So it's a little bit like, man, well, yep. Like, what do you want, sir? Well, I'll have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So you might be going out for a meal very soon and saying, well, what do you want? I'll pay for it. So someone's very, like, generous here. Like, well, if you want it, I'll pay for it. If you want it, it's done, right? So, it could be pushy. Anyway, but yeah, you kind of got this. Well, if you want it, here it is, right? Yeah, you're in a relationship. I ain't really seeing anything going wrong. Now, if you want your weekly, these are just free, right? They're going to be different than what they are on the tin Tyrone. I said they're different than what they are on the tin Tyrone. Okay, so if you want to follow my vlog, me and Emily are going to be travelling soon. You might like that. Anyway, let's get on with what you want on here. So this is free, right? It's a bit of a laugh and it's a little bit of a joke. But if you want your weekly reading, then please consider joining my new website in order to help me live and shit and breathe. You can find that link provided below. You can download any single reading you would like singly for about $2 or $3. It's very cheap. And you get access to the whole weekly reading. If you would like to join as a subscription, pretty much like you did when you're on Patreon, we have different tiers. One is bronze, one is silver, and one is gold. The gold tier is all the weeklies, all the monthlies, and all of the teaching stuff that I teach you about, reading cards, navigating yourself, esoteric channeling and scribing, and so much over there, astrology, but mainly based on numerology and how that relates to loads of different things. We've got a lot to get through over on the teaching tier, but if you're on the gold tier, you get everything thrown in. And that roughly is about what it was for the weekly and monthly tier over on Patreon, so you get it hand in hand. But we have a weekly and a monthly tier just for weekly and monthly tarot, and we have just a monthly one as well. Okay, they're all very cheap. Hopefully they're very affordable, and you can also have 25% off Tyrone if you look in the description below, and you get 25% off. And it is also cheaper than it was on Patreon because you don't pay sales tax either. Okay, so yeah, I really do hope you consider joining, and if you do, you will see your weekly reading. Some of them will only be done over there at some point because I have a lot to catch up on because we have a lot of teaching segments to do. So if you don't see readings and you want them, you'll need to subscribe to the new website, okay? And that is where you will find everything that it says on the tin over there if you just want to have a browse around. Okay, Aquarius, thanks very much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you later.